Harry and Meghan's partnership with Netflix might seem like a bad deal since their shows haven't been hitting the mark. But why do companies continue to invest hundreds of millions in their projects? Let's dive into this and more right here on Theking YouTube channel. First off, let's go back to when Harry and Meghan first inked their deal with Netflix in 2020, reportedly securing a whopping $100 million. The big question is, why does Netflix keep funneling money their way despite their lackluster performance? But could anyone have predicted that they would struggle so much on camera? Spotify may have ended their contract with Harry and Meghan, but Netflix is still trying to find success with them. It's unclear why, especially when Netflix is about to launch a polo series and a cooking show featuring Meghan Markle. It seems like everything associated with Harry and Meghan is heavily financed and lacks authenticity. Meghan still frequently appears in US tabloids, often in staged photo ops. It's disappointing, particularly given her past accusations of bullying. Despite this, she continues to be in the spotlight. Her cookbook, on the other hand, might soon be found in thrift stores for as little as $1, though honestly, it might not even be worth that. When Harry and Meghan first signed their deal with Netflix, I came across a couple of articles discussing the hefty signing payout. These articles were written by insiders in the entertainment industry who pointed out the significant risks involved. Even then, it was clear that neither Harry nor Meghan had any notable talent, intelligence, or relevant experience. The only chance for success would have been to hand over the reins to seasoned professionals who knew how to manage such projects. However, this was unlikely to happen because Meghan, known for her controlling nature, prefers to have things done her way despite having experienced people around her. From the start, it seemed doomed, and industry experts I read agreed. They did manage to hire accomplished professionals like Liz Garbus, an incredibly successful documentary filmmaker, producer, and director, but working with Harry and Meghan proved challenging. The couple frequently interfered with production, making it difficult for even seasoned directors like Garbus, who was actually the second director to attempt to steer their documentary series. Liz Garbus, known for her credibility in the documentary field, surprisingly allowed the Harry Potter premiere photos to be included in the documentary. She was also seemingly responsible for the controversial editing during the late Queen's speech. With such questionable decisions, it's hard to see this as the work of an experienced documentary producer. Meanwhile, the Polo documentary is being produced by Alaska, who previously worked on the successful Welcome to Wreck documentary with Ryan and Rob, now in its third season. Clearly, there's no shortage of talent involved. The real issue seems to be Harry and Meghan's work ethic and creativity, or lack thereof. It appears that Netflix ends up doing most of the heavy lifting, while the couple frequently meddles, complicating the process for everyone involved. This interference likely transforms what could be a smooth operation into a challenging ordeal for all parties. Honestly, they should just step in front of the camera and call it a day. But no, they insist on meddling at every stage, from filming to editing, always needing to have their say. Whatever happened to the idea that time is money? They signed on with Netflix 4 years ago, yet they haven't delivered much. And when they do, it takes forever to finish a project. Perhaps the problem for Netflix is the lack of an early termination clause in the contract. It seems to be a pay-as-you-go arrangement, with money coming out of the back end after the first 2 or 3 years. They're not listed as producers, so they don't receive a salary through the project, it's all back end. Ultimately, Harry and Meghan have devalued themselves by acting foolishly, making them essentially worthless as content creators. I've heard from multiple reliable sources that the reported $100 million Netflix payout to Harry and Meghan might have been a gross payout, excluding production costs and other expenses. So the actual amount the couple receives could be significantly less than what's been publicized. Considering the quality of their work, it's clear they're not worth anywhere near that amount. Their docuseries, filled with inaccuracies and exaggerations, received unfavorable reviews despite their claims of success. Even if it became the most watched documentary on Netflix, it doesn't necessarily reflect its quality. Perhaps at the time of its release, there weren't many other shows to choose from, skewing the numbers. It's similar to the situation with Squid Game, which was hailed as record-breaking but might not have been as successful as it seemed upon closer inspection. It's all about manipulating statistics. The production issues with Harry and Meghan's projects are quite evident. Every project they undertake seems to miss its deadline by a considerable margin. This delay is largely due to their tendency to micromanage and interfere with aspects they shouldn't be involved in. They reject good ideas and insist on meddling where they shouldn't. Any other production company thinking they can handle them better would be sorely mistaken. Unless they possess some sort of magical solution, they'll likely face the same challenges as everyone else. I'm curious how they plan to manage the couple. Perhaps it will be similar to the Live to Lead project, where Harry and Meghan had minimal involvement, only being edited in during post production. It seems to be the only way to get anything done with them involved. It seems like Meghan Markle's upcoming cooking show has a clear purpose now. Her brand, American Real Orchard, has launched its own jam, so I bet her cooking show will be jam packed with recipes featuring strawberry jam and lemon jam, Archie's favorite, right? And let's not forget about the extravagant jewelry and Meghan's signature hairstyle for her to showcase. As for Harry's polo show, I watched the video, and all I could think about was how the horses deserve better than being around someone like Harry. They looked visibly uncomfortable, with one even stopping dead in its tracks and tossing Harry off its back. It's hard to believe anyone would trust him with their horses. At this point, Nacho might be the only one willing to lend him ponies. The only thing Harry seems to excel at is making people who didn't care about polo suddenly concerned about the welfare of those horses. I've heard stories from folks who grew up near the home park, and supposedly Harry has been quite rough on those horses. Comparatively, William is seen as a gentler rider, and even Charles wasn't overly impressive. People who deeply care about horses didn't appreciate Harry's aggressive riding style and his temper. Unfortunately, because of his royal status, he often received leniency he didn't deserve. It's truly disheartening that just because Harry was born into royalty, he's allowed to mistreat animals. Regarding King Charles, he was indeed a top polo player before sustaining an injury. William, too, is skilled at polo. However, it's widely recognized that Harry lacks the same level of talent. He participated in polo more because of his royal lineage than any exceptional skill. It seems like Harry's not receiving the same level of protection he once did. In the past, his wrongdoings were often overlooked, but that's changing. It appears that the cloak of protection surrounding him is slowly slipping away. How much longer before people refuse to lend him their ponies remains to be seen. It seems like Nacho's appearance in the latest polo event was more for his own benefit. While he did let Harry borrow horses for his polo team for one season, it's unlikely he'll do so again. Nacho might be deeply troubled when he witnesses how Harry treats his horses. It's incredibly cruel. But let's shift our focus back to the main topic, the Netflix deal and the questionable couple, Harry and Meghan. It's safe to assume that the reported $100 million contract was greatly exaggerated. It's unrealistic to pay such a hefty sum to a couple with no significant track record in content production. In reality, their actual contract was likely only a small fraction of that amount. Netflix, here's some advice: stop pouring good money after bad. Cut ties with the grifters, just like Spotify did. Set them free, wash your hands of them, and let them figure out their next move. Don't fret about their future. All right, folks, I hope the insights I've shared are helpful, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. They truly add value to our discussions and offer different perspectives. Thanks for watching. Goodbye for now, and I'll see you soon in new videos on the King YouTube channel.